Thank you very much, Cancor. I welcome the Taoiseach's confirmation that farming and the agri-food sector are at the heart of all government deliberations at cabinet level and at subcommittee level as well. And that's very important in the context of 175,000 people being employed in this sector, and a sector that's also responsible for 10% of Irish export. It has faced particular challenges over the past number of years. CAP reform, and unfortunately in 2014, when the European Parliament, European Council, European Commission effectively reduced the budget for CAP at that time, that was a bad decision. And still at the same time now, 1/3 of the EU budget going forward to 2027 will go to CAP in the total of €387 billion. In Taoiseach, the farming community want to have a clear message that the national co-financing commitments that were made, that they will be honoured over the next number of years, and that also the €1.5 billion from the carbon tax fund, that will be allocated to the farming sector. Oftentimes there's a lazy narrative and ill-informed narrative in regard to farming and climate change. Farmers have adapted. They have modernised our systems. Our food production systems are sustainable, and we want to ensure that in the climate debate, and we all know there has to be improvements from every sector in that regard, we must ensure that sustainable food production systems in Europe are not displaced by food being imported from areas in South America and elsewhere where forests are being felled to make land arable. So the Common Agricultural Policy was established to ensure a secure supply of safe food for the citizens of Europe. It provides income support to farmers, but it also ensures that there's continuity of sustainable production of food, which is very important, and it plays a key role in the environment and ensuring that we have people living in rural Ireland. So our commitment must be absolute to ensuring that additional financial support is provided alongside the CAP-supported schemes from national co-financing as well, because we all know that if we are to have a vibrant rural Ireland, our farming and agri-food sectors have to be the lead economic drivers in that regard. Thank you, Can Corda.
And indeed, Deputy Brendan Smith, when he was Minister for Agriculture, did an enormous amount, particularly in terms of food production and sustainable food production. And it's been an honourable tradition. But Deputy Smith's point in terms of national co-financing will pertain, and the commitments made will be followed through on. And also the €1.5 billion carbon fund, which many parties in this House object to and opposed, yet it does give us the resources to help and support farmers in respect of a range of environmental schemes, separate from the environmental schemes that are being provided under the aegis of the Common Agricultural Project. And I do accept the Deputy's point that Irish farming has been one of the more progressive food production systems in terms of reducing emissions in comparison with many other food production systems across Europe, but certainly across the world. And our dairy industry and our beef industry are one of the top performers in terms of their capacity to reduce emissions. That said, the challenges of climate change means we have to do more, and we want to work with the industry. We want to support the industry and give greater supports to the industry to enable that to happen. And the Carbon Fund does give us the room to allocate additional funding in that regard, as does the national co-financing mechanisms. And we will continue to engage with the farming pillar through the social dialogue mechanism, which I think it's welcome that we've re-established that. And I intend that to be consistent part of our engagement with the industry and with the sector to make sure that we can progress employment and maintain what is a vital industry across Ireland and across rural Ireland in particular, so vital to many, many towns and many, many communities in terms of the employment it provides. We want to sustain that employment and we want to support farming in making the advances that it continues to make in terms of efficiency, carbon efficiency, but also production efficiencies and providing employment to people.